As of the time of uploading this video, NASCAR is a few weeks away from the competitive debut of the next-gen car, leaving behind the now-defunct Gen-6 car. But going back 9 years to the old car, it was in the position the new car is now. But more on that right after this. In the post-holiday vibes of a new year, the hustle and bustle of school and work returning can be enough to lose all of your day. And then, you're not thinking of important things like what you're going to have to eat tonight. Well, that's where HelloFresh comes in. HelloFresh helps me with my busy schedule with delicious meals that are quick to make. With sustainable food delivered right to my door, HelloFresh saves time for me as I don't have to leave my home to go to the store. Here, I'm having some spicy Peruvian chicken, and it only took me a half hour to make it, and man, it was good. So, to get your own HelloFresh order, go to HelloFresh.com. Use code Iceberg16 for 16 free meals and 3 special gifts. That's HelloFresh.com. Use code Iceberg16 for 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Now with that, back to the show. While people today hate the Gen-6 car, the sentiment going into the 2013 season was one of anticipation. After 5.5 years of the unpopular, boxy COT, fans were ready for cars to be on the track that looked like the ones on the street. And it wouldn't be long, though, before the first major on-track action of the season took place.
What did you fix?
Whoa, trouble on the back.
Trouble on the back once again. The 9 of Ambrose goes around, as does the 1. Jamie McMurray, our reigning champion. Brad Keselowski torn up. Regan Smith in the 51.
Both the
Kane's involved.
24, we're done.
And Darrell, I don't know who it was, but somebody changed lines.
Yeah, I saw him
and
moving.
there wasn't a hole there.
I saw him moving back there. Somebody made a move, and there wasn't even where to go.
With this, many had thought the 2013 edition of Speed Weeks would be a banger. But leading up to the 500, it was downright underwhelming. But while it was underwhelming, though, it also was somewhat serviceable. There was enough action, though, to leave fans hopeful that a good race could come. And then, hope, like the field, was lined up and dashed away for most of the gloomy day. This gave too much time to the big story of the day, Danica Patrick. With Danica winning the pole, Danica Mania was on everyone's radar and in everyone's faces, especially when she made the Daytona 500 history of becoming the first woman to lead a lap in the Great American Race. But in the end, it was Hendrick Motorsports' 1-2 finish, with old 5-time Jimmie Johnson getting his second 500 win. While the 500 was historically a dud, the next week at Phoenix may have been more instrumental in setting the tone for the Gen-6 era in total. While Carl Edwards was doing backflips, Denny Hamlin was blaspheming in the eyes of Brian France. All he did was say that the Gen-6 needed work, which it did. For that, he was secretly fined an alleged $50,000. Basically, this info publicly started fans noticing NASCAR's push to shut down all drivers' criticisms of the new car. The next week, though, his new teammate Matt Kenseth broke through early, beating Casey Kane. This would start a dream season for the new tenant of the Neon 20 machine. While Jimmie Johnson was going to be the man to beat for the championship, Matt Kenseth was going to be the man to challenge him. These 3 races set the tone for the entire season. None of these races were particularly good, but the main characters and story from their results was what really was big. By race 5 at Auto Club, the Cup Series was in desperate need of an awesome race, and with the laps winding down, the race was coming down to Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin to pretty much make this happen. The rest is history.
Joey got loose. He got a little sideways off the floor.
There you go. Hamlin gave him a shot. 1 to go.
Outside, barely outside.
Hamlin there. Logano to the bottom, trying to hold his ground.
That's going to be tough, though. But he's been running good on the bottom. If he can just clear Hamlin right there.
No way. He's going to lose his momentum. They're going to touch hard. Are they going to make it?
Neck and neck.
Down the back, side by side.
Kyle Busch closing in.
Watch out for the third-place car, Kyle Busch. He's looking.
Hamlin edges ahead. They get it. They touch. They touch, and here comes Kyle. Hamlin Logano on the wall. Hamlin spins down the racetrack, and Kyle Busch wins in California.
I thought they'd be nice to each other. They weren't.
The crash ended up breaking a bone in Hamlin's back. This made Logano start to be viewed as the bad guy, as before the extent of Hamlin's injuries were known, Logano was quoted as saying, "That's what he gets." He didn't mean about the injuries, but the context was bad in general. If only that was the only and worst controversy of 2013, though. To start with, at Texas, the race in the spring that they had was called the NRA 500, and this was about 5 months removed from the Sandy Hook shooting, so the firearm debate in America was heightened, to say the least. In all reality, for fans at home, there really wasn't much controversy you'd see unless you looked onto national news. A big moment for the season early on as well was the Coca-Cola 600. You see, Fox was using a cable cam. They've used this in NFL games and college football games. And what it did was span over both pit road as well as the tri-oval grass, the track itself, and along the grandstands. It was used in great effect in the Daytona 500, but at Charlotte, nobody was as fortunate. Now, heading into the summer, a subject that really took the sport over was restart policy. At Dover, Jimmy Johnson and Juan Pablo Montoya restarted on the front row. Johnson shot off while Montoya spun the tires. But since JJ beat the 42 to the line, who was the leader, by the way, he would be penalized. A few weeks later, similar issues occurred at Michigan, but it was the Dover issue that took center stage. This would be instrumental in the rule change to the current and prominent restart box rules. While controversy was center stage in 2013, so too were the underdog stories. At Talladega, David Reagan took his front row 34 car to victory lane. While it was a good story, the better one was the resurgence of Martin Truex Jr.'s career. In 2012, he came oh so close to victory multiple times, but for the first time since 2007 at Sonoma Raceway, in the summer of 2013, it finally happened. A 218 race losing streak broken. Sticking with the MWR theme here, the 55 went to victory lane at New Hampshire as well with Brian Vickers. Though you'd probably not see it on any highlight reels nowadays due to a certain scandal with a Sarah Kellen and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, controversy still was big in the later part of the summer. Firstly, Tony Stewart was out due to a broken leg in a sprint car crash. So that would be a huge wrench thrown into the entire chase story. But of course, the event that everyone remembers from the 2013 season is Spingate. With the laps winding down in the final race of the regular season, Ryan Newman was leading and Jeff Gordon was in the top 10 in points, both seeming to have their chase spot locked up. Because of this, the aforementioned Martin Truex Jr. was out of the chase, and in a dirty move of strategy, MWR had Clint Bowyer intentionally itch his arm and bring out a caution. Under the next restart, they also had Brian Vickers run down pit road to get Truex every extra point he could on this cutoff line with the wild card, as well as everything else. The restart went off, Carl Edwards got the win instead of Ryan Newman, and after the race, Truex would be in, as would Joey Logano, as Penske had played some dirty games as well. So, with Truex and Logano in, it put Gordon and Newman out. NASCAR was not okay with this, and after seeing Clint Bowyer have zero poker face whatsoever in his interview, they decided to penalize every MWR team 50 points. This eliminated Truex from the 12-man chase, putting Newman in his place in the final wildcard spot. But in a blatant TV entertainment-based decision, NASCAR changed the rules on a whim and added Jeff Gordon in as a 13th man to the chase. Now, as for the chase itself, it was a lukewarm experience for a fan. There were no real stories outside of the guys who were the competitive ones running around each other every week. A few drivers had issues, but they had no real shot of the championship to begin with. By the halfway point of the chase, it was realistically a two-man battle, with Matt Kenseth and Jimmie Johnson only separated by 4 points, Kenseth being the one barely ahead. See, there were two major turning points though. Firstly was race 6 at Talladega. While Austin Dillon was flipping at the front, Jimmie Johnson came home 13th, while Matt Kenseth floundered to 20th. This flipped the power dynamic in the championship battle, with Johnson now ahead of Kenseth. The other major swing came in the penultimate race of the season at Phoenix. Johnson stayed at his elite pace. He ran top 5 and finished 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Kenseth ran mid-pack before fading back to 23rd a lap down. The stark difference in finish put the 48 team 28 points over Kenseth going into the last race. The championship was effectively over. Johnson had a relatively easy ride to championship number 6 in what would turn out to be one of the best races of the season at the Homestead Miami Speedway. The season itself, marking the beginning of the Gen-6, also marked the end of the chase era as we knew it and led into the more entertainment-based playoff era. More than most seasons, 2013 had set up its successor in 2014 to be one of the greatest all-time seasons. 2013 walked for 2014 to run. But with that, now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about the 2013 NASCAR season? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And thank you to all my channel members for your continued support. It means a ton. So until next time, have a good one.